Thank you, Zimbabwe, for tuning into yet another informative edition of your program. You are watching Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness, and I am Wadzanai Manyore. So this is a platform where we discuss business ethics and principles and their application in the agricultural industry right here in Zimbabwe. In this particular episode, we are here at Great Dyke Ranch and Abattoir, where we are having a workshop courtesy of AfroStain, where they are telling us and teaching farmers on pen fattening, beef cattle production, and value addition in terms of the production of the biltong, of the tasty biltong which you've just had. Now, at this particular point in time, we are going to take you over to Mr. Wencelas Nyamfukudza. He is the head technical services of AfroStain and Agribusiness Extension Services. Stay tuned.
The farmer asks, Ndoana, how many animals should I put per hectare? Ndizo. So this is the hectare that we have calculated. You know, our hectare yakadaiso. So this is on our hectare. This is our hectare, which is 10,000 square meters. 100 meters by 100 meters. So this is on this hectare. Right, this is our total size of the land. But on this one, we have taken samples, is what has been said by Honor. Then right, we have got 2.5 kgs on average. That is the yield that we are going to get on each of a square meter. But in this case now, we could determine of the whole. That is what has 25,000 per the whole of this hectare. This one. Right, on this 25,000, takuchida kuwana isusu kuti right. Mombe ndochisa ngani. Tochiona kuti mombe 1 pepe ndakaita kuti mombe 1. Generally mombe inenge ine 500 kgs. However, that one is just rule of thumb. It's more of guesswork. And so kuti iwe uchiziva kuti mombe dzako dzingani, ndinenge ndakutokukumbirawo kuti can you please weigh mombe dzako uda kuisa imomo. Ndizvo. So asi kana uchinge waweya mombe dzako ukazoona mombe dzako iwo dzine 500 kgs, it's fine. Mazona. Taona mombe dzako dzine 500 kgs each. Ndobva tawirirana kuti zvakare kuti mombe each and every livestock inodya what? 3% of its body weight. Ndizvo. So in other words, it's 3%, which is 3 out of what? 100. That's 3%. Ndizvo. Of its body weight. Body weight is 500 kgs. Saka tukwa na 15 kgs ndo dzichange dzichidyiwa nechi mombe iyi iri kudya 15 kgs per day. So kana mombe 1 ichidya 15 kgs per day, takuchida kuona kuti mombe dzachona dzingani, oro generally iyo iyi iri 1 ichatora madays mangani iri kuti ipedze this what 25,000 kgs. So ndo patakuchiti generally tine 25,000 kgs and divided by 15. Tichaona tichawana mombe ngani ichadya madays mangani apa 1666 ndizvo days ichidya panapa.
At this point in time, I'm joined by Wencelas Nyamfukudza. He is the head extension services and consultancy of AfroStain.
Thank you so much, Wadza. This day is almost halfway through the process that we've been doing here.
Okay. Now, as we get into our discussion, Wencelas, let us talk about what inspired this event. I understand that you have gathered farmers and various stakeholders in the agricultural industry to discuss about beef cattle production or pen fattening and even value addition in terms of the production of biltong. What inspired this gathering? What made you see that maybe there might be a gap in terms of knowledge to our Zimbabwean farmers when it comes to pen fattening?
Yeah, so what is happening is the beef, in fact the livestock industry is one that is almost lagging behind much of the happenings in the agricultural industry. You find out that almost every time we usually have field days, we use national farmers days, but much of those days are usually covering the crop production part. Yes. So when it comes to the livestock industry, we should actually be on the top side doing what farmers should know. You understand that last time previously we had a loss of a considerable number of livestock, yes, particularly during this time because of what we call January disease. Okay. So on this day now we've taken the liberty of educating farmers on how they can be prepared for themselves for this coming disease, that is January disease. And not only that, we also have taken the time to actually explore some of the opportunities that are lying idle in the livestock industry. Issues to do with the livestock processing, value addition and beneficiation, you understand that almost everyone wants to be a farmer, but the only challenge is we need to do it effectively, and the best possible way is to focus on value addition. I'm sure you can relate to livestock business investment is almost equal to real estate investment, because we have to consider the value of our head. It can be used as a store of wealth with something which you cannot do with crop production.
Okay. Now, as we move towards going to where you were addressing our farmers, in a snippet, just in a minute, can we maybe talk about the importance of workshops? I understand that AfroStain is engaging in many workshops where we had our National Horticultural Field Day. Now we are here where you're educating farmers in terms of beef cattle production and pen fattening. The importance of workshops and trainings in agriculture for our local farmers. What are your sentiments on that?
Okay, generally, as AfroStain, our agenda is to strengthen outreach for profitable venture in agribusiness. And to do so, we make use of field gatherings, we make use of these workshops, we make use of connections and networking with other farmers. So when we make use of farmers networking and getting together with other stakeholders, suppliers of the necessary equipments, the necessary inputs for the agricultural industry, we make sure that each and every farmer is now networked with the right source, and even farmers can share their challenges and obstacles that they are having in the agricultural industry, of which through just networking and interaction they can be able to find solutions, homegrown solutions that they can make use of whilst they are in their homes, and even new ideas can be generated, which is something that cannot be done by almost anyone. But as AfroStain, we are actually making sure that each and every gathering that we do, every farmer will benefit or in one way or the other, but generally most of them are actually doing much more and doing big things as soon as they leave and go to their farms.
Thank you so much, Wencesless, and I must commend you on the Biltong. Viewers, AfroStain and the Great Dyke Ranch abattoir, they produce tasty Biltong, one that I haven't tasted in a long time.
Thank you so much. And there you
had it, viewers. That was Mr. Nyamfukuza telling us on pen fattening and beef production. We'll be right back with this and more in the second segment of your program. Stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. We are in the second segment of your program. You are watching Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness. Now, viewers, we encourage you to be a part of these conversations. Feel free to get in touch with me, the producer, Wadzanai Manyore, on 0772-807-506. Alternatively, you can like our Facebook page, Agribusiness with Wadzanai. You can also make a follow-up on this episode and more, and leave your comments and suggestions on our YouTube channel, Agribusiness with Wadzanai. We are also available on Twitter, and our Twitter handle there is at Agribusiness110. Now, in this second segment, we are still here at Great Dyke Ranch and abattoir, where I am now joined by Miss Tatenda Makurea. She is the technical advisor at Gain Cash and Carry. Tatenda, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Wadzanai. Thank you.
Yes, I understand that your organization is into stock feed selling, the selling of stock feed in Zimbabwe, and you have well over around 62 branches countrywide. Let us talk about pen fattening and how your feed that you're selling to these farmers is enhancing their enterprises, their beef production enterprise.
All right. Wadzanai, starting with Gain Cash and Carry is an organization that sells stock feeds, and mainly on this program we will talk about the pen feed, which is the feed that farmers use to fatten their animals for about 60 to 90 days in a feedlot. Okay. This feed is rich and it's a balanced diet. That's all that they need, and ensure that there is water available always in their water troughs. The feed contains 12% crude protein and 1.8% urea. So a farmer, when they want to start this, for them to get adequate or good results, they need to ensure first they dose their animal, they deworm, so that all those external parasites will not benefit from the from the feed. So once that farmer is done, then now we can start and do what we call induction. That's a gradual introduction of the feed. Remember, the animals maybe were in a graze lot where they were used to the grasses. Now we are changing them from the grass to meals. We need now to introduce the feed gradually so that we don't end up with problems such as acidosis and laminitis.
Okay,
so
just to understand for the sake of our audience there at home, what do you mean when you say acidosis? I understand that the majority of our audience are farmers, some who are looking to get into this enterprise, some who are already in it and are encountering problems. When you say acidosis, what do you mean?
We are saying the farmer we have introduced the feed like they just wake up and find meals in their feed troughs. They eat, they drink water, and they end up accumulating gases. Mm-hmm. Remember, rumination processes in their chambers, the 4 chambers that the animal have, they are used to digest grasses, and most of the microbes that are found in there will be to promote the digestion of grasses. Now we are moving on to meals. That's
artificial feed.
Yes, we are moving on to meals. The meals will cause a different pH that will increase the acidity in the chambers, which end up killing other microbes which are essential. At the end, we have our animal having something. Our animals having a lot of acids in the body, and we end up having blood. They end up having a big tummy full of gases, and most of the time, if the animal is not assisted, it will die.
Okay, so you are saying in terms of this pH that we understand that is potential, basically potential hydrogen. You're saying that if the scale meter moves to being more acidic other than neutral or alkaline, that's when you can have bloats.
Yes.
We are still in the second segment of your program. We have taken the liberty of inviting Tinashe Mugadza. He is the Business Development Executive of Europe Africa Seed Initiative. Tinashe, it's a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Can you give us a brief synopsis or a background of your organization? What are you into, and how are you contributing to the Zimbabwean agricultural industry?
Thank you so much. Europe Africa Seed Initiative, we trade as Easy Seeds. We are in Holland, we are in South Africa, we are in Zambia, we are in Zimbabwe, Malawi, Rwanda. And coming back just to your question, we are a seed company, and we are responsible for production and good genetics of the horticulture. We've got the widest range on the horticulture, including sweet potatoes, cassava, and true potato seeds. We also have got a nursery for the horticulture crops that we do. We also do improved pastures, all the improved pastures we have, and we also do the grains and pulses. Easy Seeds has got a subsidiary of Easy Trade, which works with farmers in farmer communities to help farmers to select the best crops to do. It depends with their area that they are farming in, and also they help farmers providing extended extension up until the farmer harvest. And we also work with farmers into different contract farming to try and support farmers so that we create a win-win situation.
Okay. Now, moving forward, we are here at Great Dyke Ranch and Abattoir. The sole purpose of this program, of this workshop, was to educate farmers on beef cattle production and pen fattening, and even going on further to value addition in terms of production of biltong. When it comes to pen fattening, how are you contributing to the agricultural industry, especially looking at animal husbandry? How are you contributing as Easy Seeds?
Mainly, we say to all the farmers, your animals, cattle specifically, as you have mentioned, they need a balanced diet all days, 365 days of the year. So our key mandate is to provide farmers with seeds for pastures that the animals can feed on. Okay. Seeds for grasses that the animals can graze, seeds for legumes with an improved protein or a higher protein content for those animals that are ready, that are going for pen fattening. Okay. And we also have forage sorghums that helps farmers to prepare or to conserve feed to give their animals in winter, or when they do not have enough land or enough space to graze their animals, so that they can grow, they cut and preserve as hay and as silage.
Okay, thank you so much, Tinashe. So basically you are saying that you provide seed for pastures.
We provide seed for pastures, and of all the seeds that we do, we've got a mandate to ourselves that we say all our farmers, we work with them to establish, we train farmers on how to establish a pasture crop. We help farmers on how to choose the best pasture crop for their enterprise. Some they are into multiplication of their animals. They need a certain type of grass, a certain type of a pasture. Some they are into dairy. They definitely need something which is different from those that are multiplying. We work with them and we recommend those that are into pen fattening as well. They need a specific pasture crop that is specific to their enterprise. And to all the farmers, what we want to achieve is to make sure we help farmers to be profitable in whatever they are doing. If it's beef, they have to be profitable with our pasture crops. If it's horticulture, they have to be profitable. If it's dairy, they have to be profitable. If it's for all the grains and pulses, as I've mentioned, they also need to be profitable.
Thank you so much, Tinashe. It was a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you.
We are going to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back with this and more in the third and final segment of your program. Stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. We are in the third and final segment of your program, where we are here at Great Dyke Ranch and abattoir. At this point in time, I am joined by Mr. Ngoni Chandiwana, Managing Director of SASA Nutriplant Organic Fertilizer. Mr. Chandiwana, it's a pleasure having you with us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yes. As we get into our discussion, we are here where we are talking of pen fattening, beef cattle production. As SASA Nutriplant Organic Fertilizer Company, how are you contributing and how are you helping our Zimbabwean farmers, those that are getting into pen fattening, into beef cattle production? What is your role, the products that you produce that enhance these kind of activities?
Okay, thank you very much for that. Today we are here at Great Dyke as SASA Nutriplant Organic Fertilizer. We're offering farmers the best organic fertilizer, which is a modern technology in terms of fertilizers for their pastures. So you find both these animals, they need good pastures for a well-balanced diet. But to get a well-balanced diet, they need their pastures to be well-fed. And we are providing the fertilizer which does exactly that, giving the pastures a balanced diet or nutrition as well. So SASA Nutriplant Organic Fertilizer is a fertilizer which works on all crops, but it has got many advantages for these farmers. So the first advantage for the farmer is the organic fertilizer reduces production cost as far as fertilizer is concerned by more than 50%. So for a 1 hectare, 1 liter of SASA organic fertilizer will cover 1 hectare for the season. And with that 1 liter, you will be able to use it only, especially for silage and for pastures. They don't need any other supplement or to use. It is enough for them. But the dilution is, they use 200 mils of SASA Nutriplant Organic Fertilizer in 200 liters of water. It covers 1 hectare, 1 spray. So this is the fertilizer which will reduce their cost. On top of reducing cost, and on any other crop for that matter, it also increases yield. The new technology we are talking about on SASA Nutriplant Organic Fertilizer, on top of the general NPK and the micronutrients and fertilizer, this fertilizer has got essential nutrients which are needed by the plants. Now in agriculture, we would understand from a biological perspective that a plant cell and the animal cell, they are the same. Yes. The only difference is the cell wall and cell membrane. But in animals, we are giving proteins, minerals, vitamins, and in plants, we are only giving NPK. So we are disadvantaging the plant cell. But this fertilizer has now come to introduce essential nutrients into the plant cell, our pastures and all crops. So as we do that, we are going to have optimum yield from our crops. So on top of reducing cost, it also increases yield. But now, because our crop is now healthy with these essential nutrients, not only are you going to reduce cost and increase yield, but you are going to have a healthy crop. You're not going to have instances of diseases in field crops, horticultural crops, or even silage. You are going to, because your plant cell is now healthy. And on top of that, we are also helping in terms of healing the soil and also enriching the soil. We have got a problem with our soils world over, and more so here in Zimbabwe, because of obviously the soil is damaged because of the chemicals which are used on the ground. But with our fertilizer, it's organic, and because of those essential nutrients, they are going to feed the natural microbes like the nitrogen fixing bacteria. So we are going to have a more healthy soil, and also heal the soil which is damaged. It also helps in terms of buffering the acidity and alkalinity, the soil pH.
Okay.
It's very good. Most of these silages, most crops would want an alkaline neutral
Okay.
pH.
Okay.
So our fertilizer does that exactly. To give you a neutral to alkaline pH. It has got so many advantages, and also it deals with armyworms. You use this fertilizer, you have no problem of armyworms in your crop. So Sasa Nutriplant organic fertilizer, we say wasasa wapasa.
Wasasa wapasa.
Yes.
Uga sasa. You succeed.
You succeed.
You win.
You win.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let us talk about the application, especially looking at silage.
Yes.
You were talking of feed supplements, or not even feed supplements, just the pastures.
Yes.
When can farmers apply this? Is it during the rainy season, or after the rainy season, or even during the dry spell when they can maybe irrigate or water it themselves? How do they go about it? Because we are talking maybe to a farmer down there in Karoi who's saying that in October, maybe during winter up to October, I don't have water, there's no rainfall, but I would like to apply this Sasa. Does he need irrigation for the pasture? What is it?
For pastures, you'd find out those without irrigation, they may not be able to do pastures when it's off season.
Okay.
But with those with irrigation, they can do pastures all year round. But generally for any crop, including pastures, this fertilizer, you start on planting. Now you can inoculate the seed to start with. Okay. You put 20 mils of this fertilizer in 20 liters. You put your seed overnight as your basal application. Before you plant, you spray the area that you want to plant. Then you plant your seed, or you plant your seed. Then after planting, as soon as you get 3 leaves from your crop, you apply the first spray. The first spray is 200 mils in 200 liters of water. Then you spray the whole hectare. 200 liters of water will be enough to cover 1 hectare of one spray. Then after every 2 weeks in field crops, you'll be taking 200 mils of Sasa into 200 liters of water and spray. If it's in horticultural crops, it's every week. You'll be spraying every week. So the application is generally almost the same. But the difference is just for horticulture, you do it every week. Every week for field crops, you do it after every 2 weeks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shanduana. That was very precise and very detailed. At this point in time, I am joined by Miss Majengwa. She is a farmer at Wiltshire Farm in Kadoma, right here in Mashonaland West. Miss Majengwa, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
As we get into our discussion, we are rounding off our segment. I understand that you are a female farmer who has taken off his Saturday. Some might be in salons getting their pedicures or manicures, but you are here with us where we are learning about pen fattening and beef cattle production. What would you like to say to an ordinary Zimbabwean farmer, female farmer there at home, who's watching, who says, I want to venture into agriculture, I want to start my own project? What are your words of encouragement to our female farmers in Zimbabwe?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I would say these workshops are very helpful. Anobatsira zvakanyanya madzimai, especially kupinda into farming. Because munoona kuti dzimwe nguva kana usiri kuziva kuti zvii zvinenge zvichidiwa panzvimbo, you make a lot of mistakes. Saka by attending these workshops, unodzidza zvakawanda, you learn. Like now, we were taught about fattening, beef fattening, about pastures. Saka you avoid unnecessary expenses ekuti at times mombe dzinopedzisira dzaaffectwa nezvirwere nekusaziva because of just negligence or kusatoziva kuti what are we supposed to do kana let's say mombe dzedu dziri mumapastures. So by attending these workshops we learn tinove knowledge yekuziva kuti tiri kufanira kunge tichichengeta sei mombe dzedu, and end of day zvinotipa results anenge akanaka.
Thank you so much, Miss Majengwa. It was a pleasure having you with us today.
Okay, thank you so much.
There you heard it, viewers. I was with Miss Majengwa, a female farmer at Wilshire Farm there in Kadoma. From me, your host was Zanai Manyore, and the crew behind the scenes. Have yourselves a fabulous evening. Thank you for watching.